Hello, and
Okay.
Alex, I'm starting the show, damn it.
My bad, dude.
Hello, and welcome to the PRL Podcast. That's Punk Rock Libertarians podcast episode 394. Today, I'm here with Kyle Wagner.
Hey, everybody.
Alex Schlegel.
What's up, Jared? Sorry about that. You didn't give me the in 5, 4.
Sorry. That's just usually to let Phil know that he's got, or Otto know that he's got to jump in.
Good to see everybody.
It's all good. James Babs.
Hello.
And Nikki Picone.
What's up?
What's going on, gentlemen?
Oh,
cool.
Just hanging out, man. hanging out.
Yeah, sorry to our listeners for skipping the show last week, but I had a weird thing going on with my throat, which I kind of still have, but it's a lot.
Cocks?
Yeah, just too many cocks.
Yeah.
And then some other things came up, but we're back and we're better than ever. So,
is that a not so subtle dig at Otto?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, where is he anyway?
He's doing some stupid political shit.
Some LNC meeting.
About 20 minutes
ago.
About 20 minutes ago, he sends me a link and nothing else.
Did you guys see the picture that I posted in the group chat about, like, not in the group chat of this podcast? It was like two guys arm wrestling. Did anybody see the arm? I thought the one guy was a spitting image of Otto. It's like professional arm wrestlers or something.
Yeah, he did.
Well, Otto is a professional wrestler of some kind, I think, but I don't think he's more the Jello wrestler kind of a person.
He reminds you of like the bad guy with the mustache and over the top. You know, not Stallone, but the guy that Stallone fights in the final battle, like the boss, like just round and like Fu Manchu'd.
I'm due to watch that movie again. I don't think I've seen it in about 20 years, but like it deserves. There it is.
This guy on the left here.
Yeah, I thought his face looks like Otto, and the way he wears his hat and everything.
Yeah, it does.
Dude, you can smell what that gym looks like. You can just smell that.
I kind of want to shave my head, and so me and Otto can like reenact this photo.
But it looks like Otto is arm wrestling some guy that brews IPAs. Doesn't it?
Yeah. That guy's arm is huge. I don't know if Otto. I don't know if he's that jacked, but
yeah, that guy's arm is pretty big.
Yeah,
that guy's arm looks like a leg.
Wait, why were you Why did you have the screenshot, Kyle? Are you watching these videos?
Are you watching like arm wrestling championships?
Yeah, Facebook's been feeding me arm wrestling stuff for some reason. I watched one arm wrestling video. And then like it was like this guy likes arm wrestling, so now I get like inundated with arm wrestling stuff and tips and tricks and stuff. I don't arm wrestle. I'm like,
I think it's total bullshit. What really happened is he found himself down a Kenny Loggins wormhole, and at the end of that is where it starts feeding the arm wrestling shit.
Or he was just like Googling, muscular men.
Halfway.
Like who knows what would bring that.
Facebook was like, I guess you'd like that.
Does everybody notice that on Twitter? It's so fucking annoying. It just seems like anything you check out, it's just like, oh, you must like this. We're gonna clutter your feed. Twitter seems to be doing that a lot lately.
They all kind of do
based
that.
on it's just getting
YouTube's been giving me a lot of these, which I enjoy watching them, but they're these scammer payback videos. Basically, they like the guys that work out in like the Indian call centers and they try to like scam old people out of money.
Oh yeah.
By like pretending to be like Microsoft or like the Geek Squad or something.
Or the IRS
this guy like gets on the phone with them and then just like fucks with them for like hours, just like wastes their time. One of the guys actually like gets on the computer and just starts deleting all their files and like taking pictures with their webcams and like sending it to like the feds. It's pretty hilarious.
Brutal.
Do you remember the Tom Woods episode where he like fucked around with them for like an hour and eventually started asking like the people if they would take exotic animals as payment because he couldn't get them the
Wait, Tom Woods did this?
Yeah, he had an episode where it was like 45 minutes to an hour. He held them online.
Wow.
And like got up to the point where they're asking him, hey, we need you to go to Target and get Target gift card.
Right.
He's like, I don't know how comfortable I feel about this. I've got a camel and like an elephant. Will you guys accept exotic animals as remuneration? I want to get this tax thing taken care of. I understand, but
was this before or after he started grooming?
This is technically the grooming goes far back. If we're gonna go down that road, it would have been years after that. But
I've had fun with those people that call up and say like they're from Windows and your computer is sending out like defective signals from your Windows. And like I don't even use Windows, right? But I got one to play along for well over an hour, and I'd keep them on hold, and I'd just go do something else, and then I'd come back and be like, okay, what did you tell me to do? Like, oh no, I hit the wrong key. Let's try that again. Like
yeah.
and
that's exactly what these guys do, and they do it for like hours and hours. And
I had Googled, and I would Google like screenshots because I don't even use Windows, but I'd Google like for screenshots to see what it would look like if I did the things that he told me to do, right? So I could at least be a little bit more convincing in my play along. But who really wins in these things? It's like as soon as you can get lulls for about 45 minutes, I guess, but even then you have to do something else.
What was it? So it was in the old Anarchy Bar group once. I can't remember what the dude's name, but one of the guys in there like was sending screenshots of this like text message conversation he was having with through Facebook Messenger, and like he walked them to the part where he's walking into the doors of the Walmart to get the gift cards, and then he the next thing he says is, "All right, dude. Shit went sideways. I've got the fucking like door dude in the van with me, like a gun to his head. What do I do now?" Like, he's like,
wait, he's got the door dude.
Well, he just made
like the greeter, the Walmart greeter guy.
He put the greeter hostage to escape, and now he's like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, dude, we're in this together now. I got the fucking dude. Help me get out of this shit. Dude, I don't fucking know anything. What are you talking about? I've never seen this before.
Oh shit!
It's easily a couple hours worth of fucking like screenshots through Facebook Messenger. It's fucking hilarious. Fucking scare the shit out of this dude. This motherfucker took somebody hostage.
Damn.
I'm missing out, man. I just like, I don't know. I'm like, no, I don't have that car anymore. Stop calling me. And then hang up.
I don't pick up my phone unless I know the number.
I do. I pick it up all the time.
You're one of those people. You're like so curious that you've got to pick it up.
He's just that desperate for a call. Like sometimes, like just somebody's paying attention to me. God.
Well, I mean, maybe he's thinking it's that professional hockey team looking for him. They're scouting. They heard the amateurs are rolling.
Finally, the NHL's calling.
I have no idea
everybody
why.
else. They fired enough people for vaccines that they've
It's usually a recording. It's not even a person. Like if it was at least a person, you could interact. But it's usually just like a recording.
I get a lot of just these probes. I think it's just robots that call to see if a person answers, because they're not even giving me some kind of a sales pitch or scam. It just rings. And then there's either nothing or maybe some static or like a recording of like an AM radio or something. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah. Like, and then if you're a moron like me, they're like, that's a live number. Let's get that guy 50 times next week.
Right.
Yeah, because they do that. Now they kind of disguise the number so it looks like a local number.
Right.
And it'll have like, call from Glen Burnie or a call from Baltimore or a call from Catonsville. It's like, oh, this might be someone I know or a business or something legit.
Dude, one time Shannon and I got calls like almost immediately after one another from like a number that was like one off of the previous number, right? Like it was like 410-252-8858.
How their auto dialers work.
What's that?
It's how their auto dialers work.
But it's weird because we're not even like, we don't have like our numbers aren't close. It's not like we're on the same plan.
It probably blasted out 50,000 or a million numbers probably. Like in a second,
Yeah.
But sometimes I have an 800 number, which gets like, if you dial any extension, it comes to me. Okay.
What's the number, Babs?
So these bots will try all the extensions. All right,
dude. Does that like put your phone out for like a half an hour?
Oh shit, guys! Should I let him in?
Uh-oh, who's coming in?
Who is it?
What's up?
Guys, thought you had a very important meeting.
Sure.
Arm wrestling world championship.
Yeah, was this the meeting?
There he is.
Was this the meeting?
Were you holding hands with a man?
No.
I told him I'm
No,
shaving my head so we can reenact the photo.
Oh my god.
I can't
You
remember
gotta
last
do
time we
that.
had 6 people on here.
Oh, yeah,
It's gonna be a lot.
Was it a
All right.
libertarian
I'll just-
meeting?
It was the LNC's meeting tonight about establishing a line of credit for $250,000. So
You said no, right? Oh, you don't
Yeah.
get to vote. You're just an alternate.
yeah, so I was in there. So Susan was voting, or she wasn't in there. So I was like, well, I'm gonna be voting no for this probably. So I should probably be probably be the only person voting no on it. So, but she stepped in. So I told her if she needs me, just let me know. But for the most part,
Are they
going to
vote for that? Are they going to go in debt $250,000?
Oh
It's a
my
line of credit.
God.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
all
Dude,
about
they're
that.
trying-
What?
And they're gonna pull out. And what they're trying to do is pull out like 2/3 of it all at once and pay for ballot access in, I believe, in New York, and as
Oh
well
my
as the
God.
Frontier Project. Yeah.
Dude, they're trying to sink the LNC right before the
Yeah,
Reno
they're
reset.
basically
They're
like, okay,
purposely doing
Mises
this
is
shit.
taking over. Exactly what Nick predicted. They're just gonna
They-
drop a huge bomb right before they get out.
They're going to just destroy it, burn it to the
I guess they're
ground
gonna-
as best
or-
they can.
I mean, what a terrible investment that is. It's like you shouldn't really
Yeah.
take out a loan for something that's going to
It's
be
a line of
worthless.
credit. It's not a loan. It's a line
It's
of
going to
credit.
be it's going to be worthless in
Does it
the
charge
next
interest?
year. You blow all
Yes.
that on
That's a
so
loan.
they're gonna spend it all on ballot access for 1 year, and then later they're going to need ballot access again, but they're going to still be paying off the previous year.
Ugh.
Yeah, there's no There's
my
no return
God.
on investment for ballot access.
No,
Right?
and what the
That is-
fuck's the point? It's 2022. Like that's New York's problem. That's some fucking state's problem. You
I
can't
just
get on the
don't-
ballot.
I
That's
don't
your
know.
fucking problem.
I feel
Because
like
there's too many people that say we got to have 50 state ballot access, or people won't think we're legitimate.
Yeah, it's
Because
like how
you're not
much?
Like
legitimate.
you're still not legitimate though. That's the problem. You're still not invited to the table with 50 state ballot access.
Yeah,
Nobody gives a shit. You're not in the debate. It's
Yep.
you're not going to win the election. None of that's going to happen
Stop
whether you
caring
have
about dumb
48,
shit.
50. Take these states that are super expensive and just do write-in candidates. Nobody cares. And you could save hundreds of thousands of dollars per year.
Yep.
Spend all that money on marketing. Spend it all on taxation as theft memes.
I got an even better idea, Babs. Spend that money and buy one of these fucking ghost towns. Just buy a fucking ghost town. Start there, an unincorporated city somewhere, and start building the nation you want.
Yeah.
Work a hell of a lot better.
Let's.
I mean,
do
hell,
it.
they bought a property in Arlington. I mean, where is it? Alexandria, an old
Yeah.
town, Alexandria,
Yup.
and that's where the LNC is headquartered. Like to
But
Nicky
it's
Pete's point,
Oh,
buy a
'cause
ghost
they want to be
town.
right near. They want to be like right at the edge of the beltway. So
Yep,
can,
so
you
they can
gotta
get
get
it
to
right-
the wall and like.
Yep.
but it's like
Otto-
One day we'll get to those cocktail parties.
Yeah.
One day.
Have you been to the headquarters, Otto?
Pathetic.
Yeah, I've been in the headquarters, and
I've
apparently,
been in
like
it
it's
once.
falling. I haven't been deep inside, but like, there's issues with maintenance, like the stuff's leaking, and
How does it
just
stack up
doesn't-
to the Mises Institute?
Why not just sell it?
Mises way better
Why not sell the headquarters?
because they need a headquarters because they want a
For what?
headquarters.
For what?
I don't know. We can't see. My opinion was is if you're having a headquarters, you should be having every business meeting there at your headquarters, but they don't want to do that.
Well, what's the purpose
So-
of the headquarters?
Yeah.
To
What
feel
exactly would you
legitimate.
say you do here?
Storage.
Whose head is quartered?
Whose head are we gonna quarter?
I
Can
can
they
use a
be
quarter
drawn?
head there.
No, you're right. It's storage for what? Like
Their
they
shitty
still got-
merchandise.
They still got like
Gary Johnson flags.
yard signs.
Yeah, they
Hey, we still-
probably
I mean,
do. They
We still got
probably
these
do.
Bill Weld signs. You want them?
Yeah.
We'll get good
Half
price.
pri-
Good
half
price.
price. a nickel a
Wait,
flag.
Is there,
Tax
like,
price.
is there Will
Stacks of LP
Jorgensen?
news from 1997. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Ron Paul newsletters.
Ballot access news. All the back issues.
Ballot access news. Oh my god,
Dude,
Yes, that's what I've been doing this past
That's
hour.
that's
50
yeah.
minutes. And
Well,
it's not going to get
so
settled
you're
on
saying
tonight.
that was more important. That was more important than our audience.
To
That's
vote no
kinda
on
what-
it? To vote no on it? Yeah. I just
But did it
just
work,
the time
though?
being.
Well,
No, because I don't even know if we get to a vote tonight.
yeah. Otto's the
Well,
alternate. He doesn't have to once they
Yeah,
tag
what-
him in. Tag, you're it. You got to get in here. But
Right.
So you should just do double duty, like do the meeting during the podcast, like have it on a separate monitor.
That's
in
what
the back.
I was gonna have it on my phone, just kind of sitting here and just like,
Well, yeah.
what?
We
Oh
should
yeah,
just-
no, I vote no on everything. No.
Yeah, we'll make it part of the show. Like you could, like if
Yeah, I liked Alex's idea of like a mystery science theater, like we did with that like We're on Drugs movie, but instead it's the LNC meeting.
It's kind of ironic that you can't even get libertarians to like live within their means financially, right?
It's pretty sad.
Yeah,
maybe if the Libertarian Party like printed up some like shitcoin token and like did like a pre-mined shitcoin token.
That's a good
and,
idea.
like,
what if they just
Yeah.
minted some bullshit NFT and put it on OpenSea for like $1 million?
I mean, who you never know. You never know.
You know what it really is, Kyle? Is it like we've all got that Harry Brown entrepreneurial spirit, but instead of learning anything about a single business, all we know about is politics. And so you've got to be entrepreneurial in politics. That's all it is, which doesn't pay dividends. So,
Well, we're all entrepreneurs here, Nick. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm working on getting closer myself. 'Cause
All right.
out of options.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
the Libertarian Party, they don't have a big budget. They don't have a lot of money. I learned that
shouldn't.
when I
They
went
should-
in.
They don't need a lot of money.
Yeah,
What are they going to do with it if they had it? Spend it on another
it helps with
headquarters?
they could do TV commercials or advertising.
suck,
or-
No,
Like,
that's
they
that's
suck.
candidates' jobs. That's what candidates spend money on.
Yeah, I mean, for example, they dropped like $50,000. They begged for $50,000 to do a COVID ad that
Took them
it was okay, but it was all just boring stock shit. And it came out a month too late. It was when all the vaccine mandates were going into place. Meanwhile, our like content creators like Dan Smots puts out a fire fucking video
And then they
that's
bury
time
it
sensitive,
in an
gets way
hour.
more traction within like a fucking hour of all this
Yeah.
mandate shit. And it's just like they're just so like the Reno reset needs to happen so like today because it's just so infuriating when you see like the larger liberty movement and then you look at the Beltway regime libertarians just literally sinking this ship and it's like the fuck are we doing? The fuck are we doing? Like Rome is burning and you're worried about like the dumbest shit right now. It's insane.
But the funny thing about this is they weren't even going to have a meeting tonight. They were trying to pass this like without a meeting. Like they were trying to just do an online vote. Like, yes, vote for this $250,000 line of
Who are
credit.
the people behind it? Name some names.
Um,
Whose idea was it? Who's pushing?
I don't know. I don't know.
Nicholas Sarwark.
No,
CIA.
Somebody had to
Honestly-
make the motion, right?
honestly, I'm not aware of who made the original motion. It just kind of came up casually, and then a bunch of us were kind of like, "Wait, what? Like, you guys? Wait, we're really just gonna just do this over email balloting? Like, that's what we're gonna do? Like." And so people, complained enough that we decided to have a meeting about it. So now everyone, like, they're in the middle of dividing the question and dividing the motion. And
Let's all get out of Robert's rules and
I mean, seriously. I mean, to Nima's
I'm down
point
for
here,
it. I'm down for it. Like, if they need me the whole meeting, I do it. But like, I already committed to this first too. Like,
spend Ellen.
This is way more valuable to society.
I agree
I
with
would think
Nima
so.
here. I agree with Nima here. Said spend LNC money on hookers and drugs, or better yet, blackjack. I mean, we could just hire a provincial, like hire. This would be my proposal. You're going to go $250,000 in credit card debt. How about let's take whatever's left in the budget, the conventions in Reno, okay? Like
put it all on black and just let it
Boom.
ride.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't,
that shit
here's the more important question.
Win or
What are
lose.
they-
Like you,
what are they
you
putting up
double
for
your money or
collateral?
you go home broke.
Exactly.
It's going to be
But
exciting.
we're not going into credit card debt.
So no. So what are they putting up for collateral for their fucking line of credit? Is it that one property that they have in Virginia?
uh-huh.
Oh,
Oh,
wow. So
God.
when this is all said and done, they're literally going to have no headquarters, no fucking money,
Yeah.
nothing.
Perfect.
Mortgaging the
Who
house.
would even what shitty bank is giving them a line of credit?
I don't know.
like,
Wait,
all
how
right,
about-
you
let me
own some
just-
shitty old building in Arlington. Like that's all the collateral you
It's
have.
probably like the IMF.
Dude, I put
Or the World Bank or something. Like, you know,
Klaus
that's what
Schwab.
it
There's Klaus
So-
Schwab, the World Economic Forum.
So-
They're taking that. You heard it here first. The LNC is taking out a $250,000 line of credit
Yeah.
from the Bank of Davos.
Right.
Is-
Or-
is
like
there-
following instructions by my uncle Klaus.
Uncle Klaus.
Is there any question at this point that the Libertarian Party has been controlled opposition, though?
For real. It's
Like,
so
There's-
Well, I think controlled is you know, I don't know if anyone would use the word controlled.
I'd say chaos,
But,
chaotically controlled.
attempted controlled opposition.
It's not controlled opposition. No, they're just
out of control opposition.
It's dysfunctional. They're a bit dysfunctional, right? That's my impression.
They're literally going to bury the party as opposed to let the Mises people have it. It's literally
Okay.
what they're going to do.
Like,
That's okay. You know what?
I'm
First order of business for Mises Caucus could be declare bankruptcy, default on that loan, like
Sell
I,
that-
and then
sell,
just and then
sell
just
the property.
yeah, the property sells off, and you know, and we're on the right track.
And then
Yep,
just
and-
hire
and-
1,000 meme creators.
We'll just move the headquarters to the Mises Institute.
No,
Lou
you-
Rockwell
what you
will
really
open the
need-
doors. We'll have a big party with Hans Herma Hoppe. We'll bring them over.
We'll have a big
Hey,
helicopter ride.
no.
We offer helicopter tours.
And
Jeff Dice is having a heart attack just thinking about that.
dude, we'll make money. We'll make money. Loser Brigade go on helicopter tours. We'll raise money.
Well, what if you
Oh,
replace the
boy.
headquarters with one of those like storage pods? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like,
Yeah.
and you
Like the
just
one in
put
front of
it
my
in the
neighbor's house?
driveway. You just put
leave
it
it
in the
parking lot.
driveway of whoever the current chairman is, right? Like, and that's the headquarters. It's it's just a storage
what's-
container.
You see,
That's where all, that's where all the Bob Barr flags go.
if the Libertarian Party was as smart as they pretend to be, they literally their headquarters wouldn't actually be a headquarters. They'd own the property and run it as a you store it, and the whole thing would just be a money making venture, masquerading
what-
as something.
I mean, everyone keeps saying, like, why aren't we renting it out to people or events or individuals? Like, it should be used constantly for to giving some type of extra revenue. And so it could
Yeah.
almost be like self-sustaining when it comes to like repairs on the place. So we're
How
not
about
having to
turn it into an Airbnb?
Dude,
Right.
Yeah.
You store it to make crazy money, and you have to do shit. You fucking put 24-hour locks on the place.
How big of a meth lab would fit in that place?
Dude, you heard it here
Yeah,
first.
what about a private prison?
Angela?
It's like, hey, come at the very failed third largest party in the country's headquarters.
Private prison.
Is it going to become
Or
a
storage unit.
Portugal embassy?
Oh man, this
Oh,
could
man.
be. But to Icky's point, it would make money. So you heard it here first. First line of business, Angela McCardle's office is going to be in a U-Haul like storage unit that we're going to rent out. But yeah,
And then you'd actually be, preaching what you or doing what you preach.
You'd have a natural source of revenue.
All right, enough of this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody cares about those.
Babs, I
those-
want to
Tell
hear
us
about the Bitcoin conference.
yeah.
All right, I put a link in the chat for a Ross Ulbricht animation that was auctioned off at the Bitcoin conference. Bitcoin 2022 in Miami had this major art gallery in the middle. So in the middle of this like big corporate, just investor, mainstream, like total normie show, they had this really cool Bitcoin themed art exhibit. So it's art, sculptures, some of it was NFT, some would be paintings that had an NFT. Ross had several paintings that were auctioned, and this animation, he hand drew each frame, and they were escorted out, individual frames, and then scanned and assembled into an animation, which Ross hasn't even seen. But
wow.
I don't know if if you want to play that.
Yeah.
But it's 318 individual black and white frames. Here, I'll set it up while you're loading it. the animation team added the color, music, and the loop. He built a light box for the tracing, and it's just a amazing thing. He says, what began as a desire to track the development of my plant became a much bigger project. What are its surroundings? A cell. How did we get there? Am I there too? I played it over and over in my mind's eye, imagining how it might look. However, I had no idea how laborious a little animation could be. A book light under a plastic bowl was my light, a marker pen, some basic geometry, and sustaining focus for many weeks. Oddly, I won't see the animation myself, not unless I defy the idea it conveys and leave this case before I grow old and die.
Wow.
So, yeah, pretty heavy.
Damn. It's like this animation's amazing.
That was awesome. Oh, it's still going.
It loops.
Oh, it loops.
So you can stop it there.
Well, that's fairly depressing.
Yeah.
It's
well,
depressing,
yeah,
but
and-
like awesome.
For those that are listening to audio, it's a drawing of a plant growing, and then part of it is also an image of Ross behind bars, and he goes from a young man to an old bearded gray man
Let's
behind
also
the bars.
specify it's in the style of like 1990s PBS like animations. Like it looks like
looks
the stuff
awesome.
you'd see between Sesame Street episodes.
Yeah.
I was thinking more like an aha video. Like,
Yeah,
remember
it's kind of more
Aha?
like aha,
Yeah.
yeah, but like not black, but like in color, yeah.
But it raised almost $500,000. So with the
Wow.
NFT sale.
And so where does
that
that
was
money
very
go? To
positive.
his defense fund or?
Well, that's a good question. I don't really know exactly. It's not all for free, Ross, I don't think, but I think generally it's
Was this one
available.
that new project he has for like art, like getting other people out?
Yeah, well, right. If it was, I haven't seen the exact how it's going to work for this one, but the last one, there was like an organization forming that was going to also help people visit their parents in jail, art for. I'm drawing a blank now on it, but yeah, it's not just for free Ross. It's not just for the lawyers, but it's.
I mean, they're the point.
It's going for a broader cause, but it is going to be able to help Ross's defense. So.
I mean, there isn't much more that they can do with Ross. Kind of the last I heard. Like, I mean, there's little kind of long shot shit, but the way I was explained, it was other than like a presidential pardon. That's really what he's got.
that is it. But there's also now there's resources though. That last NFT fundraiser I think raised over like $4.5 million. Which a lot of it can be used for Ross. There is a new law firm that's going to be hired, supposedly some state-of-the-art, expensive firm that's going to do a three-pronged effort that's going to be legal, legislative, and media, if I remember correctly. But they've got a strategy. They're going to try to just try to peel it apart from all angles. See what they can come up with.
They gave him no parole too, right?
Correct.
Oh yeah, nothing.
He got no parole, so which
Double
is,
life
I mean,
plus 40 years. No,
it
parole.
was lock this guy up and throw away the key kind of sentence. I mean, it was
Well,
very
the judge-
heavy-handed.
The judge said in the sentencing that she was making an example of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact, and she specifically referenced his ideology as problematic and a reason to make sure that he was punished extra hard.
I'm always surprised, like when I share like Ross Ulbricht stuff, like the normies that comment on it about, who fucking cares about this guy? And I'm like, to me, it's just the saddest story. It's like, no matter what if you think his ideas are terrible, you think I'm an idiot because I'm a fucking anarchist, whatever. But the bottom line is, he was a fucking kid who, he may have had a pie in the sky dream and it may have been stupid if you think that's what it is. But does he deserve fucking to rot away in a cell like that? He's a guy who will never get to have kids, never get to have a wife. Like I get serious survivor's guilt every time I think about Ross because of what.
Well, he's I think he's going to get out at some point. I just don't know how it's going to happen. It just seems like, I mean, there's always the possibility that the federal government will dissolve, right? Like I'm gonna, if that's what it takes, I'm willing to go for that.
Well, when the libertarian president comes in, he can pardon them. That's why we needed ballot access in New York right now.
Like you said, it's weird. Like, he'll share it with normies, and they'll be like, "They'll tell them it's like, murderers and rapists get out for less time than this dude who
mass murderers,
nothing,
child rapists."
Like, even if he thinks it's a bad idea, that time is just insane.
Yeah,
I think if you're him, you, I guess, should try to, I mean, I say this, try to make the best of it. You try to become maybe a writer, use your fame and influence to like help people or something. I don't know. Try to get some meaning to your life.
Well,
but
he seems to be
I
doing
feel
that.
so, terrible for the guy. This,
he has these art projects have, I mean, I think it means a lot because first of all, it's raising money. Which is desperately needed, even if it's too late, late to be super effective. It would have been great to have that kind of resources before the conviction, right? But
so
but it is what it is. But this art is giving him a chance to express himself and extend his will beyond the bars. He's getting tweets out there. It's like it's just a little bit, right? But every time his own voice gets out there, right? I think it's very powerful. Like that's how Mumia Abu Jamal got popular, right? Like because people kept hearing from him, and eventually he got a podcast from jail.
Did he ever get out though?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
no, he's still in jail. There's a popular filmmaker. He's like a communist guy, but he's all about this. About Mumia, and he constantly posts about him, talks about him a lot. I don't know. The story seems a little sketch to me, but I don't. Whatever. I mean, that was.
I think the only thing he was accused of was shooting a cop.
And as Kyle always attests to, that's not a crime.
So here's the question I have for you, James. So you're at this big Bitcoin convention, and I think I was listening to Adam Curry talk about how much fucking money is at this convention. And you're watching like this video of Ross, the guy who fucking makes all this possible, without even like a little bit of irony in saying that. And you just feel like there should be more,
a lot more.
Like how's all this money in this thing, and he's still in prison.
Well, you did say it was kind of corporate normie crowd, so
yes, it was corporate normie, and First of all, I want to say that like the exposure that Free Ross did get at the show was extremely generous, right? Like you can't say like I'm not going to criticize them for not giving more exposure, right? Because they didn't have to give any exposure at all. And there was a stage in the art gallery, which was very small time compared to the main stage, right? So, this show had a music festival. Which they also showed that animation at the music festival, which was a huge audience. They had, but it was after the auction, I'm pretty sure. And then there was Lynn gave her presentation on the small stage. On the big stage, there was a panel discussion, which I didn't see, but I'm going to watch the video. Glenn Greenwald was there. Andrew Yang was on the panel. Also, Joe Jorgensen was there.
Thank God.
Oh,
Thank
God.
God.
Yeah.
that's a smattering of people right there.
Yeah, and I guess some other
Thank
people,
God.
but they were discussing pardons for Assange, and as I was told, if I'm relaying it correctly, Glenn Greenwald, mentioned also pardoning Ross, and that got a lot of applause. And so the question then went out to the panel about these pardons. And Yang gave some kind of mealy-mouthed political, like, wasn't exactly. Some said he thought no, he wasn't going to pardon. Other thought that he was just being ambiguous. But of course, Joe got to chime in and stand up for Ross. And so I thought having Glenn Greenwald stand up for Ross and, and having Joe there to back him up on the big stage was still pretty good. So,
yeah.
Nice.
The other one's Snowden. They always throw him in. Typically, he's
The
mentioned
Fed.
in that.
Yeah.
Right? Did they bring him up at all?
probably. I didn't see it. I didn't get to go to any of the presentations. So,
Oh, okay.
but it is all out on video now from like Bitcoin Magazine YouTube channel. So, but what a crazy show. I mean, just humongous. Miami Beach. Now, for us East Coast, Mid-Atlantic people, are you guys familiar with Miami?
I've never been.
It's something special.
It's different. If you're used to Philly, Baltimore, New York, Boston, like first thing you notice is like, oh my God, it's not a shithole. Like it's like the streets
But
are
also
paved.
everyone here is an asshole.
I wouldn't say that, but the streets are paved. The stores are populated. There's like palm trees and green in the city.
From what I remember, less white people than you'd expect.
It's very Spanish speaking. It's very, like, I don't know. They're like, it's thriving down there. Stuff's really expensive. You can't park. It's crazy to get around. But
it's all Cubans and Puerto Ricans that
you see all kinds of like crazy cars driving around.
Yeah, I was there and I saw all these supercars and I was like, man, there's a lot of money down here. And then we were somewhere and it was like rent a supercar for the weekend, and I'm like, all right, Yeah, so they do that kind of thing. You can.
Yeah, I saw a Bugatti when I was out there, and some kid get out of it. I was like, "What the fuck, man?" It's like $1 million car.
That's where all the Bitcoin millionaires went.
This was like before Bitcoin, though.
You got to be some kind of serious poser to rent a supercar. Like
they do
really
it.
You shouldn't be seen in a supercar unless it's like one of 3 supercars in your garage.
I'm just telling you, they have exotic car rentals down there, and a lot of those cars are rentals. I can guarantee you, they're, you get it for $2,000 for the weekend.
Well,
which is
you
still
bring
not,
your yacht in, and then you get out, and I guess
you can rent one of those too. I believe.
They got some boats down there.
They
talking serious.
How many of them are Russian owned?
I spent
not many anymore.
I spent the weekend in DC, which is also clean, but it is like the Vatican of government. You know what I mean? Like, I just felt like, man, this place is such a tribute to the federal government. And I know you guys all like give me a hard time about being a statist, but like I'm a little uncomfortable when I go there. I'm just like, man, there's Secret Service.
Your heart doesn't swell with a little pride, or
no, it doesn't.
You don't walk around saluting.
No, it bothers me that it's like, first of all, the police state, right? The Secret Service guys are all like fully armored. They're wearing like the flak jackets and everything, and they're just standing.
So you don't thank them for for their service, Kyle?
I do not. No.
Kyle's an anarchist now. I think we can stop pretending that you're statist, Kyle. It's okay.
I'm not, but I just
welcome.
I don't know. It's just such a tribute to DC, and it feels like if you were religious and you went to the Vatican, or if you were a Catholic, you'd be like, wow, this is like amazing. But if you were an atheist and you went to the Vatican, you'd be like, this is kind of surreal. And
it's
that was
it's full of captured relics of conquered peoples and crushed civilizations, and
which is how the church did it.
Yeah. I mean, the war memorials
as well.
There's so many war memorials, and it's just like, gosh, we've been in so many wars, and we walked through the Vietnam War memorial, that the Black Wall with 58,000 names, and I mean, it's just you can't really joke or chit chat. You just sort of walk by and you're just like, God, there's a lot of people that died in this conflict on the other side of the world.
For what?
It's depressing. And, you see the shrines to Lincoln and Washington and Jefferson. It's a temple.
They're like Roman temples. Yeah. Like,
and everything
literally, it's as if they are gods, and that's how they see themselves. They present themselves as gods. And you shall worship. You shall do rituals. You shall sing their songs. You shall praise them.
But you're not allowed to dance, though. You can't dance.
You can't dance.
That's disrespectful to the. Do you think you could? You think you could go up and dance on the altar at a Catholic church and not get somebody upset?
I think you can dance, but you can't have a dance party which is what Adam was doing there. I think he bring in like speakers, and I mean they were having like a party.
I thought they
I'm
were
sure
just,
you
I
like,
did
think
this.
it was
swirling
no.
around
I
in
think
a
it was. I
circle.
think it was with headphones. I think it was a silent music.
Really?
I think. Yeah.
I think
yeah.
he may have had a boombox at most.
I don't think
It was
so.
not a thing.
I
I'm saying
recall
it
curious.
was.
it was headphones.
Yeah.
As I think Kokesh might have been the first libertarian I ever saw.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's unfortunate.
because I
Have
was.
you seen him lately?
He was definitely one of the.
Oh yeah, it was hilarious.
Wait, the
I-
first one you saw in person, or
no, just
like,
it's the first time I'd ever heard the word libertarian was Adam Kokesh.
interesting.
It was
Well, he had-
after
I mean, he
had
was
a good-
definitely.
He
was
doing cool
definitely in
stuff
my
back
early libertarian days. He was
Yeah.
pretty prominent and pretty based, but
Well,
within
remember
seems as
Adam
though he's
versus the
fallen far.
man? Adam versus the man on RT.
yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a great show. And it kind of like, dude, seeing this fucking meltdown of him this week just
you mean
really.
full Randy Quaid.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I don't know. Because the
Such a
thing
good
is,
comparison.
I met, I worked on his campaign when I was still active duty Air Force because, like, it was right after the Ron Paul days. It was 2010. So that I guess I was on a list and, I guess donating to the 2008 campaign. So long story short, they're like, yeah, we need people to go out, collect signatures, or not collect signatures, but just running in the primary out in New Mexico as a Ron Paul endorsed congressional candidate. And it's like, holy shit, this dude's a former Marine. He's fucking based. So I had like I had leave that I had to use or lose. So I was like, fuck it. I'll go out to New Mexico. I've never been out to New Mexico. I was like, if they're going to put me up, I'll fucking campaign and be out in New Mexico for 2 months. But long story short, yeah, dude, and met Kokesh. I did the whole march in 2012 with all the veteran march on DC, like 5,000, or it was a couple thousand people, but all in all, I think there was over 500 to 600 vets marching on DC, had that huge rally, had a post concert. It's like, and then he's just, I don't know, man. And then Russia Today and everything. And it's just like, to see him in this state right now, it's like, bro,
So what exactly is
what
he
happened?
doing?
I didn't
he
hear
is
what
just
happened.
shitting on Michael Heiss. He's shitting on the Mises Caucus. He's just going after really
Everyone.
good people,
Like-
unfucking hinged, like fat shaming, like just going after like fat shaming people. And
Who's
just
he fat shaming?
Danielle.
Yeah, she works for the Mises Institute. Like, she's awesome. Like,
She-
but like
she's
just
here in
going,
Ohio.
yeah.
She's like
And
a-
Because
He's
this
like a
sounds like
mom.
things that we all do on this podcast, but in jest.
well,
But he's like
We
doing
do
it
fat shaming. We mock the Mises
Oh,
Caucus.
Yeah,
no, dude,
you
dude.
usually just fat shame me. That's
What
usually
was
doing
it?
fat shame.
What was
But-
that?
Yeah, wait a minute.
He's
his
being very
tweet-
nasty about it.
His,
Oh,
Yeah,
his
I guess.
tweet to her
We
was,
do it
"Hey,
with love.
hey,
Yes.
nice grift. You're a fucking out of shape housewife.
Your
We're
floppy
push
titties.
up
That's what he
broad,
told
big
her.
floppy titties, fucking getting a grift out of all these fucking racists." Like,
Yeah, and he's
Didn't he
congratulations.
also like? Wasn't there something where he photoshopped himself having abs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Dude, but it's-
Well, so, and what's this whole thing in response to like
He's like
that
a vegan now or
tabloid
something, right?
situation, Otto?
Yeah, okay, so this all stemmed from the fact that Joe Rogan was having on Dave Smith.
yes, that,
And he's like, so he's mad because he thinks he should be the voice of libertarianism, not Dave Smith.
Wasn't he on Rogan like a long time
Yeah,
ago?
I mean, it was terrible,
And it was bad, right?
really bad.
Like it was worth. Like even Stefan Melanu was better than him on Rogan.
Stefan Melanin.
Stefan Melanu.
yeah, that's what I mean, man. Like, I don't think he's a good I don't know, man. He's just unraveling. So I think, and he's had a streak of doing that. And
Is it
and
drug
goes,
use or what is it?
I don't. It's hit, and
Yes.
I've noticed it too. No, meeting him in person, his narcissism, dude, is off the fucking charts.
Well, and that's
Like,
kind of-
yeah, I mean, this
it's
has been
me. He's
he's
not
like-
like a team.
He's like a trust fund kid, right? He's like a trust fund kid who, I mean, his parents funded his whole venture, which I mean, great. Like he was doing, like I said, he was doing dope shit. Like first off, but then I guess it just didn't go where he wanted it to, or whatever. He didn't get as famous as he wanted to, and so it looks like he's been trying all sorts of different things.
That's shotgun. How about the shotgun?
right.
deal
Well,
up
that's
in
what
DC?
got
Like
that's what
that's
got his house
badass.
raided. That's what
I
his
know, but
house
that-
got raided.
Yeah, but like if you're gonna do that kind of stuff, like
That was badass.
kick your drug dealing friends out first, right? Like don't have like a stash of mushrooms at the house while you're like loading shotguns in DC.
Yeah.
Well, and
not smart.
I'd argue half the problem is like if you're gonna be the face of like libertarianism, it's like, you know, you had to capitalize when you were still young and pretty, and he ain't young and pretty anymore. At least Dave's got a handsomeness about him. Like, I hate to break it to the guy.
I'm not
One
going
of
to criticize.
one of them's photogenic, one of them's not.
You're upsetting the Russian malinformation bot right now.
Not everyone can be as beautiful as we are. I mean, you know, let's be generous.
I liked early Kokesh. I mean, he was an anti-war veteran, and that carries a lot of weight when a vet comes out and just says, "Look, I don't agree with what we're doing."
Yeah,
You
and
know?
he was like, and
Dude,
he
I
was
went
so-
to see him. I went to see him speak at oh, man, I don't remember. It was so long ago, but it was like some restaurant.
Yeah.
Well, he was originally supposed to speak at a C4L like campaign for liberty thing, but he was like too edgy for them, so they wouldn't let him speak. So he just like had his own thing, which was pretty badass.
Dude, 2011, fucking all YouTube wanted to feed me was fucking Ron Paul videos and Adam Kokesh.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not
dude.
joking.
Yep.
for
Well,
real.
that was
yeah.
before that was before there was. Yeah, I mean that's
Even
back when you could see anything.
2014.
I got like it was like
2014.
Max Kaiser, Ron Paul, Adam Kokesh, like just looping through that
I remember
while I was like interning for like some government agency.
I remember like as my parents were like kind of bitching about like how my life had been going after college. Like sending him those Ron Paul videos on what the fucking grift the college system really is. It's like I've never been able to explain it to you guys. Listen to this old fucking dude do it. He gets it.
Yeah, it's just that's the thing. And for him to kind of to where he's at now, just going after good people within the liberty movement and going after people in the caucus and just being fucking like unhinged. I kind of feel I'm like, dude, we used to have conversations. Like I used to respect you. Like, what the fuck, man?
Well, and then there was all those
and it's like, and I'm also like, get help, man. Like, get help. Like,
there's a lot of shady business over the years, you know.
Yeah.
Like just
For
it's like
sure.
I mean,
he took his lumps, but at the same token, like I don't know. It seems like he's a little unhinged lately,
too, right?
you had the relationship contract, right? He had an ex sign a relationship contract.
Yeah.
He had a falling out with a former like partner.
Is there anything more
friend.
libertarian than that, though? I mean,
I've known
come
3
on.
people that have lived with
think
him.
that-
3 people
that
live with
might
him. They've all
be-
said he's such a narcissist.
Yeah.
he
Dude, 'cause
probably
it was
is.
like-
Whatever. Who cares?
No, because here's the
right?
thing. I remember, like, personally, like, we had when I worked on his campaign, like, he was fucking great to talk to. Like, I was still in the Air Force. I was like, my cousin just got out of the Marines. He was an Iraq War veteran. Like, there was a couple times where I would have conversations with vets out on the campaign trail, and we could have a conversation, like, as, you know, kind of as anti-war veterans. And it was like, so I respected his opinions, but then when, like, it was right when I got out of the Air Force and it was up at Pork Fest. It was the Ron Paul campaign was kind of doing the veterans for Ron Paul. So because I was like on the list, they were reaching out to a couple and they said, hey, at Pork Fest, can you hold a meeting as someone that's like working on Ron Paul's like, so I did that. Kokesh got pissed, dude. Like he was like, like kind of like me. If I'm not like, if I'm not the guy for everything all the time, 100%, then I'm going to have a temper tantrum. And that's kind of like, and you see this repeated like behavior. And it's like, dude, get some help, bro. Like seriously, like get some help, like fucking like, cause it was kind of sad to see, like, come on, man. Like,
I just thought it was David Boaz pulling the fucking reins on everybody to stop this Mises Caucus thing happening.
Yeah.
Like it's just everyone who's like ever been involved in fucking Team Beltway has been forced to go full press against what.
That's the other thing too. The timing of everything is so fucking suspect. It's so suspect. And the other thing too, it's like going back to like when he was arrested after the shotgun incident. How does he like possibly like he got a plea deal? So who the fuck's he working for? You know what I mean? Or how is he compromised? And why is it right fucking now he's dropping bombs like on all the good people in the liberty movement a month and a half before the Reno reset? I'm telling you, he's probably fucking compromised.
Is it the Great
Or
Reno
not,
Reset?
or he
Is
just
that what
needs
you're
help.
calling
The
it?
Or he
Great
just needs
Reno
mental help.
Reset.
I don't know. The Great Reno Reset.
I mean, for me, the thing that really lost me and threw me for a loop was Hody John's fucking kind of turning against the caucus.
Who?
John Hudak?
No, Hody Johns. He's a weird libertarians. Person.
Oh yeah, I can't.
Yeah, dude.
Well,
It's
this
like a
is
lot
the-
of people coming
Hody's
out.
always a kind of guy who's given a fair shake as long as I've fucking known him, and when he turned it.
Here's
Let me
the
ask you
problem. If
questions.
you elevate individuals too high, whether it's an Adam Kokesh or a anybody, Tom Woods or whoever the bigger they are, Stefan Molyneux, right? Like people get big and then they go off the rails, right? And then you're like, oh no, it looks bad on our movement. Well, that's because they got elevated too high to begin with, right? And
Not
people pay
everybody
too
can be Ron Paul and just like be the same dude for like 80 years.
Well, in fairness,
Right.
like the cult of personality shit is one of the biggest reasons I like not officially in the Mises Caucus anymore, because it's just like they really do have a thing about like worship. Whether they'll say they don't, but they do.
too much auto worship.
Not enough auto worship.
I'd say not enough auto worship. Like we could use a little more auto worship. A little.
I have a podcast. I'm overweight. I have a neck beard. Why am I not being worshipped?
Like he's like, I'm the living avatar of your
Touche.
movement, folks.
The living avatar. Oh man,
Oh,
the
that's-
archetype.
Yeah, the archetype.
They interviewed Kokesh on Liberty Lockdown, which is a
Yeah.
YouTube channel. I don't know if
Yeah,
anybody
Clint
watched that.
Russell. Yeah, I was watching it, and I'm just like, yeah. So, Kyle, what did you think of it after watching that?
I didn't watch the whole hour. I watched about 20
Yeah,
minutes
I
of
couldn't.
it.
Yeah.
Kokesh was spastic. He was very hyper. It seemed like he was on something. He just his mind was all over the place.
I can't
It
believe
was-
someone would go on a podcast and do drugs. That's
I know.
Yeah, right. The audacity.
Yeah.
So I saw,
the lack of professionalism. I
The
just
Yeah.
decorum.
stand
You're
out.
supposed to have decorum on podcasts.
He got a little heat with the host at one point. I don't know. Like I got that he was
Yeah.
just pissed because he was kicked out of the Mises Caucus Facebook group.
Yeah, it's
And
like a Facebook group. Like,
I
It's
mean,
not even
that,
a real
you know,
That's okay. Now we know
wars
where
have been
this came
started
from.
over less, right?
Why did he get kicked out? What was it?
The original thing, he explained it, and it was gosh, I can't remember the details of it, but there was some he said, she said kind of
yeah, and it was like I got
dispute with
evidence. And
Mike
it's like,
Heist.
yeah, and it was like one conversation with Heist, and he's like, "I have evidence and evidence." It's like, dude, that's one tweet. You haven't talked to him in like months. Pick up the fucking phone, and like Clint just telling him, like, call him right fucking now. Like, call him up. Like, talk to him. Like, and then he kind of went into about he was talking about his mom, or no, his stepdad who just died of COVID, right? Like,
Oh,
or had complications or something. And he thinks it was because of the getting, jabbed and boosted and had like, so I don't know. It was like, dude, I know you probably have PTSD to begin with. And now you're like, dude, like you got other things going on, you kind of like you're watching. It's like, dude, this guy just needs help. He needs to talk to someone. Like something's off,
Okay,
like he's going through some shit.
I saw
know?
the screenshots, the talk with Clint, and listened to like Clint's intro to the episode, and I was like, yeah, I'm not even gonna bother with this. Like it was enough to convince me it wasn't worth the time.
well, it was
Yeah.
a wild ride. I'm not saying it wasn't a wild ride. Like it was like, oh my god, this is something. He was kind of bragging. He was like, yeah, I got a super hot girlfriend, and she's interested in bringing more hot girls into our relationship. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
all
And he's like, I'm in the
all right.
mountains. I got 11 acres.
yeah, it very like whenever people are like bragging about themselves, it's kind of a
Yeah.
red flag that they're either insecure about something or they have something going on, where it's like they feel like they need to prove how good they are to you. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, good for you, man. That's great.
Whereas look at Babs just pouring the fucking modesty on right here.
That's right.
Right?
like I assume from this background he's got at least a 14-inch dick.
Yeah. I mean, he's flying to Bitcoin conferences, meeting up with Joe Jorgensen, ripping 12 shots with Joe
Jorgensen
at the bar.
So, did you give her my digits? I mean,
check it out. Hanging out with.
We talked about you. I said,
Jorgensen.
I said, you remember Otto? She goes, that big, strong podcast guy from
arm wrestling champion.
That
arm wrestling
podcast.
Yeah.
She remembers.
Yeah. Well, she heard everything we had said about her on the show.
Oh.
That was awesome. We got Joe Jorgensen on the show once. I mean, that was great.
Yeah.
She was super nice. Because I was riding on Lynn's coattails, I got to hang out in the whale area, like with the whales. Right.
Oh,
so
wow.
They had a special whale ticket at this show, which was $18,000. Right.
Holy
and you'd
shit.
had special, like, you didn't have to you didn't have to be with all the riffraff all the time, right? So,
all the no coiners.
Yeah.
No coin.
Be with those folks below deck.
All the less than 1 Bitcoin havers.
more like the less than 100 Bitcoin people.
So why is Joe Jorgensen like still going to things and still being relevant?
She's with people
Well,
for liberty.
she was invited, and I think that was great, because what they really needed was more libertarians at this thing. They really could have had, what they really needed were some of the like old crypto anarchists, because it's sort of like definitely moved away from that into this corporate. We're just trying to bring in big investor money. We want to schmooze politicians. We want to, capital this and vest.
So it's the Libertarian Party. All right.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, but at least they were thinking like we should have some. Can we get some kind of libertarian in here? Somebody in the organization thought that, So I think that's good.
That's good.
And I'm glad
It's
that
always
Joe
Peter Thiel.
was able to do it. He was there. Jordan Peterson, some think is libertarian-ish. I don't really follow him.
He's still. I'd give him the ish.
Give him an
I'd give him the ish.
Well, I mean,
Adam Curry, did you hang out with him, Babs? He was there, I think, with Max Kaiser.
he was in the whale area too. I know that for sure.
I did not see him. No, I didn't see him.
Everywhere I go is the whale area.
for the walrus
Shit,
area.
that turned into a fat joke.
What
I
if
didn't
Babs
even
got
intend-
brought into the whale area? He thought it was like the people that spent $18,000, but it was just a bunch of like fat people.
I was like, you know what? Yeah, exactly. Like, at least I could do well dating here. Like.
Hey, that is a good question.
Yes, to answer Tony's question, if you want to pull it up here on the comments, Jared.
Oh, it's like
yes,
cut off on mine, but yeah, I'll bring it up.
Yes, we did have Dave Smith on the podcast. That was literally 2 years ago. The other day, it was 2 years ago. We're actually celebrating. We actually passed our 7-year anniversary, which was today. No, the 14th. The 14th was our 7-year anniversary as a podcast.
Nice.
6 years? 6 years.
Well,
Yeah,
we're
6
6 episodes away from episode 400, so
Damn.
yeah, that'll be like
Bill Pittman is
June
confusing me.
Yeah, he's very confusing.
I think
so
he's.
I don't know.
I think
I
he
mean,
was
I like-
joking. I don't
I
know.
like Kirby's sisters. I don't not one of those fans that God chap though.
I'm trying to pull up the episode, which one we had Dave on. It was during COVID.
It was literally 2 years ago.
He was in New
yesterday.
Jersey at his parent or his.
Look for Lost in New York or something.
Yeah,
like
we
that.
came up like
Yeah.
I watched you. We watched you
Well-
because we all didn't have a job. We were all watching it on.
Go to
watch Jared
PRL.
do his magic on the.
Yeah.
It
Go to
was awesome.
PRLpodcast.com and just search Dave Smith and you'll
Yeah.
see it. It'll pop
The
right
art
up.
was awesome for the episode.
Because it was one of the first episodes you guys did post like getting over the fact that you weren't going to be able to be in Anarchy
Yeah.
Basement anymore.
And
We
in
accept it.
Bergman's basement. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sad times. Sad times.
Sad
But
times.
now, I mean, hey, fuck, man. They just lifted the mask mandates, and almost every single airline company has followed. They've dropped their mask mandates.
Wait, can you fly now without masks?
You can fly out without a mask right now.
I had not heard of
But
that.
they still
Southwest-
touch your balls, right?
Yeah, well, they're still touching
That's
balls.
not going anywhere.
Still put a
Southwest,
finger in your butthole.
United, Delta.
American.
They've all no. I don't think American has yet, but
shit.
everyone
I
else,
gotta
all the
fly
major
American.
ones. Yeah, I my flight's Southwest, so I'm happy.
Yeah,
so
I
I
just
go
saw-
to Reno.
I've got like 3 flights in the next like. 4
nice
months.
Humble brag. Nice
Yeah,
humble brag, Jared.
I just saw a tweet.
But 2 of them are on American, which I almost never fly. They were just like less expensive than flying Southwest somehow.
Yeah, I think I saw a guy tweet. They announced it mid-flight, and you just see like the whole cabin with them off, all smiling and
in mid-flight.
Yeah,
mid-flight.
They're like, "Fucking take."
I guess it's got to be mid-flight,
off.
right? Because there's flights going 24/7.
I mean, just imagine the insanity, though. You're in this like aluminum tube with hundreds of people for like 8 hours.
Breathing the same fucking air.
You're like, guys, it's safe now.
Granted,
COVID's gone.
There is a filter system that I think they do like a UV sterilizing, but still, you're breathing the air of 200 people, a bunch of kids, like bringing their germs from each of their school, has their own little group of everything, right? To think that you're going to wear a mask and not breathe in everyone else's germs is just insane.
That plane is just a petri dish of God knows what.
Even if you were even gonna grant that the mask worked to some degree, like you're taking it off to eat your fucking peanuts, you're taking it off to drink your water, you're taking it off because like I'm
gonna eat these peanuts as slow as fucking possible the entire flight because I'm not putting this diaper on.
Some people did that.
Yeah.
They did that. They were like,
"Fucking,
I'm still eating one peanut at a time."
I saw like some like funny YouTube video where it was like a skit and the guy was like eating and then like the stewardess came around and was like, "Put your mask back on." He's like, "Oh well, I got this," and he was just like doing like a bunch of different things.
And do you know what the pressure I think finally was for all this to happen? All their fucking stewardesses are quitting.
Oh, really? Dude, yeah.
Because no one wants to be the fucking mask police. They don't like the altercations, the dealing with people getting irate. No one wants to fucking do it.
Yeah, I've seen some crazy videos of like fights and shit.
Well, so Adam Curry was like it was one of the things he mentioned on No Agenda a couple weeks ago is that like they're just canceling flights left and right because they don't have the people to fucking make them fly.
Yeah,
because your stewardess
they can only fly so many hours per month too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard the pilots are like flying way more than they're supposed to as well.
Well,
that they're exhausted.
Well, it's that, like I said, like you have to have so many like of the support personnel on there legally to help people get off the plane in an emergency. Even if they seem superfluous at most time, they need to be there for that, and they can't get them because they're either tired of fighting with the people, or more importantly, tired of fighting with the assholes that still believe this shit that are still employed there. It's that one fucking prick stewardess that's in everybody else's face about why they're not like up in arms fighting with the people on the plane. And it's like, it's not worth it. Fuck you.
Yeah. But you know what is worth it? The After Hours podcast.
Oh, shit.
We're going to record right after this, my friends. So I just want to thank all the Patreon supporters. You guys helped you helped us.
We're going to be talking trash. We're going to be
yes. But you guys helped us get our new banner that we had at the Maryland Libertarian Convention. I don't know if you guys discussed that before.
No, we didn't. We could save that for the After Hours.
Yeah, so we were all there. It was pretty fun. So we had a banner printed out, but it was thanks to viewers like you that we were able to get that printed out, and it looks hot. And so if you guys are interested in throwing us a few more shekels, consider going to the $5 a month. Help us out. Let's recuperate some of these funds. And you guys go over our Patreon, sign up there, or go to prlfans.com and find other ways to donate to the show. We have t-shirts for sale. We sold a bunch of t-shirts at the convention. But if you go to libertariancountry.com, and you'll find our shirts there. And if you use the code PRL or PRL Podcast, you get a 10% discount. If you spend $50 or more, use the code PRL2 to get a 20% discount. Tonight, we're brought to you by Hidden in Plain Sight by Moral Bob. And go to Wheelie's Pharmacy for all your CBD needs and use the code PRL Podcast for a 10% discount. And until next time, live free
or die.